So we got ourselves a nice, ugly, embarrassing engulfing candle on the Bitcoin daily chart. I want to take a look at the Bitcoin chart, a little bit of the stock market chart, and of course our altcoins to let you guys know what I'm thinking for the next up and coming weeks in this market. Are we officially in a bull market like a lot of people are calling? What levels do we need to cross and retest on to officially confirm that we are bullish again? So if you're excited about that, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and let's just get right into it. First things first, we're looking at Bitcoin right here on the daily chart, and we can see that we had ourselves a nice bearish engulfing candle right here on on the daily, which it got all the way down to 22,500, and it was up at 23,700. So it was a nice nice little bearish candle right there. But we're retesting this blue line right here, which is a 13 moving average right here. So if you don't know how to trade or don't know anything that I'm talking about on these channels, I do have a trading course where I go through exactly how I look at this market and how I look at these charts, so you can learn how to trade, how I trade, and look at them how I look at them, so you can understand the channel a little bit more. So maybe you could trade and make a little bit of money on the side, or do your thing. So looking at it on the daily, yeah, so we had that bearish engulfing candle, but we're bouncing on this 13 moving average. We need to hold this level right here. We need to hold this 22,800 level. We go any more below that and start closing below this level, it could look bad. So I'm going to be watching that over the next couple of days, and then I'll look at this weekly chart right here. So the weekly chart, we are still below the 200 moving average right now. That is at this red line right here. I can move it up a little bit, but basically I'm gonna just call it 25k at this point. We need to get past 25k. We need to close above, we need to come up here, close above this, retest it, and then we can be like off to the races. This is the weekly chart, so that might take a little bit of a time. So when I go back to this daily chart, you can see we were way overbought over here, and then the momentum just kept going down on the RSI. So I was expecting some type of dip or retest back to some of these lower levels, and I wanted to retest. I didn't want us to get super bullish. A lot of people were calling it super parabolic, and I didn't really want that. I think it's too early for that, but we'll see what happens tomorrow now that we got this little cool off, and we do have a catalyst for tomorrow to have a pump if we have some type of bullish news coming out of the Fed, and everybody's watching what's going on with that right now, and that's kind of playing out in everybody's head right now. So overall, we do have some interesting things on this chart. So if I zoom out on the weekly chart, I just want to show you guys something that's a little bit different right now in this market that a lot of people are not taking into account, and that is the fact that we have never been below this 200 moving average for this long. We've never closed this many times below the 200 moving average. So that's one thing. That's something that like kind of negates like any looking at this chart and using some of this previous price action, because a lot of people are expecting like it to be similar to this dip right here that we had right here, this dip that we had back in 2019. But when we had this dip back here in 2019, we were above the 200 moving average, which was a very bullish sign, and we were above the 13 moving average, and we were above the 34 moving average. So right now we have ourselves a sense where we're in a territory that we haven't been in before, where we haven't got back above this 200 moving average, and that could take a little bit longer to play out because this is the weekly chart, and we can see this a little bit more on the monthly chart. So let me close this RSI right here, so we can see this right here a little bit more on this monthly chart right here. So all these little dips that we had in the past, see right here, when we had this dip back in 2015, we had the 13, which is what we had right now. We had the 13 cross below the 34 moving average, which created a nice bearish momentum back down to the bottom at that period in time, and then it got back above it a little bit later, but the rejection was right on that 34 and that 13. So right now we are in a territory where we do have this cross on the 13 and 34, and we're and we're coming up to retest it right now, and that level is at 27K, and the 34 right now is at $30,000. So we need to basically get above that level of $30,000 because it can just get rejected and be pretty ugly right there, which is something that we haven't seen on this Bitcoin chart before, which, like I said, on the weekly, we're in a level that we haven't seen on this Bitcoin chart before, based on these different moving averages and stuff like that. So the Bitcoin's not that old, so we don't have that much historical data to go off of. Getting into this SPX though, a little bit more of some bullish news right here. But we had this rejection trend line right here, this yellow line going down, that started back in January. This is the daily chart, and we finally broke above it. And then we are coming back down to retest it, which is right here at the 13 moving average. So this is kind of bullish right here. If this if the SPX decides to bounce, then Bitcoin might do some things that we haven't seen Bitcoin do, because Bitcoin always does things that we haven't seen Bitcoin do, which would be very, very, very nice, very, very bullish. So Bitcoin's been following the stock market, so you got to watch this chart kind of closely right here. Looking at this chart on the monthly, we can see that it's retesting the 13 moving average right here, kind of getting rejected right now. So we want to see it get back above that level. But the cool thing is we are above this box, which has been kind of playing out for a pretty long time. But this level right here, which is this red line, I'm gonna call it 4100 on the S&P. That's where we need to get over right there for things to go ahead and be bullish. Looking at our total tool, which is all of the altcoins besides Bitcoin, it is bouncing up, doing the same thing, kind of retesting, hitting its 236. This is the Fibonacci retracement from November, and it is hitting this 236 right here and looking like it wants to bounce as well. So we shall see. Like I said, we're kind of in a bit of a no man's land right now. For me, we are still very bearish until we get above some of these key levels, because this is something that we haven't seen in Bitcoin before. So I am, like I said, if we're not in the bull market already, then we're about halfway through it. So I'm still DCAing into some of my favorite cryptos and the ones that I talked to you guys about on this channel. So let me know if there's any coins that you guys want me to talk about on this channel, or anything that you think I should be looking into as far as cryptocurrencies are concerned. So don't forget, check out the website etcurrency.com, where I got a trading course on there where you can learn how to look at these charts. How I look at these charts has been playing out pretty good for me so far. Money's made in the middle. If I miss the bottom, that's okay. If I miss the top, that is okay, as long as I have a higher win percentage, and that's what's most important. You get what I'm saying? So like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel. I already said leave me a comment. RIP to crypto roots. Never finish a negative statement about currency. Till next time, peace.